Welcome everybody. My name's Dee Twentyman and welcome to Global Light TV. And as a founding member, I am here to welcome non-bump members to ENTV, and I have the privilege of bringing all of these non-bump members on to show their light to the world. So these are people who are truly global lights, and we're going to celebrate and showcase their incredible impact. And this is why we're calling it Global Light TV. So I'd love you to please help me welcome the very lovely Lucy Jordan. Hello, Lucy, how are you?
Hi, hello Dee. Hello everybody. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for inviting me.
You're really, really welcome. Really welcome. It's lovely to see you, Lucy. And it's been a while since we spoke.
Hi.
So what I'd like you to do is to tell people a little bit about your story, your journey, your passions, and how you are making an impact and a difference in the world with your work.
Okay, so my journey. Well, it's been quite circuitous, kind of. It's never linear, is it? A to B. It's always like that. But back in my 20s, late 20s, I got psoriasis, and I learned by going to a doctor and then a counselor and then a healer, spiritual healer, that what I actually wanted to do with my life was to do healing in some form. I've also trained as an artist. I went to art college, studied stained glass and painting, and so for a long time I've been riding these two horses, as it were, like not knowing which one to ride. I'm now 58, and since those days I've trained in flower essences and Reiki, spiritual healing. And then I took a long break where I went off to live on a boat with my husband and two children. And then I found myself in a situation where I had to survive. So I started making boat covers and selling boat paint. I went far away from all of the art and the healing, but it never left me. Deep inside there was this need to get back to the creativity and the healing arts. And so, having lived some life that was really adventurous, really traumatic, I feel like I almost needed, in hindsight, I needed that time to really have some tough experiences to kind of knock off the edges and give me a lot of compassion for everybody, for people who are struggling, or because I knew what it felt like. And then I got back into the healing arts about 8 years ago. I trained as a hypnotherapist. I trained as a past life regression therapist, and I am training in family constellations and karmic constellations, and bringing all this together to really help people remember who they truly are. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to completely forget. I know what it's like to be so down in the depths that you just don't want to live anymore. And I've also risen to the heights, and I just want to be able to help people remember who they are, and really come into alignment with their soul purpose. Yeah, I think that just about covers it.
And so that's a real passion of yours, yes?
It is. And even though there've been times in my life where I have abandoned that and put it by side and said, I'm not doing that anymore, it just comes back, and it is so much part of it is who I am. I've been shown that, and I've learned that is who I am. That is what I'm here to do. So I just better bloody get on with it. I'm also painting. I mean, the creativity, the arts is also part of my life, but I've actually found a way to integrate the two now, um, which is through the veil painting technique that was pioneered by Rudolf Steiner.
Mm.
And it's because it's using colors and very thin washes of watercolor, pure color, and it's about the light and the darkness and color, and it speaks about the spirit, it speaks about the soul, it speaks about the formless becoming form in the method that you do it, that it's, you know, the process.
Mm.
So
Mm.
yeah, that's
That,
really exciting.
yeah, that sounds really fascinating. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that works with getting people back to their soul purpose, who they are, finding out who they truly are at a soul level or spiritual level, or what you said before? How does that
Yeah,
actually help them to do that, and what do they feel after they've done that work and come through the other side? You know, how's what's the transformation?
you mean for the regression therapy in the constellation? Speaking about that,
Using the art to
the
streamlining
art.
that kind of thing. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think it's more of it's a transmission somehow on a level that I don't understand, and I don't consciously uh work in that way. I work intuitively with the painting, um just allowing what needs to come through. Some people might call it intuitive painting, but this is a specific technique of laying down the very thin washes of color, but it's done intuitively, and it seems so far from the response I'm getting. It just seems to speak to people on some kind of soul level, and I really don't have any say in the matter. I just feel like I'm a kind of a conduit, a channel for this, um, for this to work for people, through me, for people, and it speaks to their. I think I somehow seems to speak to their soul. I don't know. It's quite mysterious, but
Mm. Mm.
yeah, I'm happy to just let it be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds really fascinating. And the other work that you do with the regression and the other intuitive work that helps people to maybe heal, is that a word that you would use?
Yeah. For I mean, having gone through the spiritual healing and the flower essences and the psychotherapy, for me, the regression feels like it's healing on a soul level. So, we come into this life with these um, traumas that we've picked up in past lives, and they're not they're so strong that we bring them, we choose as a soul to bring them through into this current incarnation. Some we don't, but some we do choose, and often life helps to clear those, and we just kind of do it by ourselves. But sometimes some things just stick. They just stick, and no matter what we do, and it can show up as a physical illness or dis-ease, or a phobia or continual problems, relationship problems, money problems. I don't know, it can be anything. These things just stick, and no matter what methods we use, nothing seems to shift it. So quite often when people get to that point, they'll try past lives therapy, and those those issues that are in the current life can be traced right back to the source, to the root cause, to the trauma that actually cemented that trauma into place. That stays with us on a soul level, and it's all okay. It's not kind of failing on some kind. There are always enormous treasures to be found in these traumas, in these issues that we have in our current life. And it's the same with karmic constellations. It's a way of doing past life therapy, but without the hypnosis. So it's family constellation, systemic constellation therapy, but applied to past lives, any soul contracts, any vows we might make, um, any curses we may have picked up, or negative energies, all sorts of things. So that's, for me, that's a really fascinating blend of past life therapy and constellation, systemic constellation.
So
Yeah.
what that's really fascinating. And if anybody watching, everyone who's watching, if you've got any questions or comments, please put them in the comments section for Lucy, and we'll be able to have those questions answered. But for the final part is, when people go through this process with you, how do they feel afterwards? What do they actually what actually changes for them in their life?
Wow. Well, it can be from spontaneous remissions from physical symptoms. Like I had a client came to me about he came for kind of claustrophobia, kind of agoraphobia, claustrophobia. I don't know. He didn't like kind of enclosed spaces or even busy spaces. Um, but as a side effect of that, he went back to a lifetime where he'd been a general in in ancient Greek army, and he died on the battlefield. And he was, and this is going to sound traumatic, but not everybody has these such traumatic memories. It's okay. It's okay. He was buried in under bodies, you know, dying. Um, and as part of the therapy, we can do psychodrama. So I helped him push them off. And as a result of that, his lifelong asthma disappeared. Never came back again. But he didn't even come for that, you know. So it's a beautiful side effect. So there can be these spontaneous physical relief. There's often a great sense of understanding about their life and themselves. There can be a complete alleviation of symptoms of guilt, of shame, of feeling responsible, of not knowing what they're supposed to be doing with their life. Oh, many things, many things. I'm just trying to think back. And there can be, as part of the transformation process. So we'll go back to past lives and see what happened and why. And then there's a process where we transform that. So there'll be the client and we're speaking to each other. You know, I'm not speaking all the time. The client is, we're dialoguing, but the client is in a light hypnotic trance. So like having an inner vision, as it were, but knowing, fully aware of where they are on the couch or on the bed, or and I do it online so people can be in their own homes as well. So there's often dialogue with people that are part of their past life, and there's often a lot of forgiveness and understanding of the other person's point of view. Oh gosh, so many things. Yeah, to be.
Yeah, it's just fascinating, and that
Yeah,
kind of healing can be transformative in people's lives. So
it's really
it's
deep.
just amazing work that you do, and I'm sure that there'll be people watching who would love to contact you and to get in touch with you to find out a little bit more. So how can people get in touch with you, Lucy?
Well, I'll put in the comments my Facebook. There's my Facebook page, Lucy Jordan, and you can contact me there. I could put in my email, I guess. I haven't got a website yet. Sorry, I'm a total tech dunce. It's coming, it's coming. But yeah, people can reach out to me by email, through Facebook, through Instagram. I'll put all those links down below. And just to let everyone know that I have I've got a solstice offering. So from Saturday till the 31st of December at midnight UK time, I'm offering 15% off my normal rate for anyone who books in that period. We won't do the session in that period because it's, you know, it's holidays. So you can be booked for any time in the new year, but so long as they book it between now and midnight on December the 31st, they get 15% off. It was my way of helping people who are kind of, if I can afford it, giving them a chance to do something like a past life regression or a karmic constellation. I do positive past life constellations at the moment, where, because we don't always have to go for a trauma, You know,
Yeah,
we can also go for a positive past life and gather
that's it.
skills
Yeah,
and positive things. You know, I've had people who want to learn to play the piano better or want to learn a foreign language. And we can go back into past lives where that was a skill they had and bring it to the conscious awareness in this lifetime, because it's all there in our subconscious, all this knowledge, all these skills from all our lifetimes, they're all there.
that's a really good positive thing to help people understand that it's not just about stuff that happened in the past, but they can bring it into the positive, and they can get you on those links. Would you put those into the comments when we stop going live now? And I just would love to, you know, thank you for being on. And I want to say to all the people watching that I've actually had the privilege and the pleasure of working with you in the past myself. We did a little bit of work together, didn't we? And yeah, so thank you very much for being on. Thank you everyone for watching, and we're going to end it there. And if you want to get in touch with Lucy, then please go into the link that she sends to you and have a chat with her. I'm sure she'd be, you know, look forward to having a chat, seeing if you're a good fit with each other, and you can go from there. Okay, so we're going to end the live now. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thanks, Dee. Thanks.